Welcome to History Seekers. Thank you for stopping by. Today we are looking at Lincoln Cathedral. Lincoln Cathedral, located in the UK, was supposedly built in the 11th century by medieval stonemasons. But what if I told you that story doesn't add up? The precision of its construction, the impossible scale, and the fact that parts of it appear far older than recorded history suggest a mystery lurking beneath its towering spires. Was this really a medieval build, or did someone, or something, leave behind an architectural secret hidden in plain sight? Let's start with the official story. Lincoln Cathedral was first built in 1072, after William the Conqueror ordered its construction. A massive project for its time, it was said to be the tallest building in the world for over 200 years. But here's where it gets weird, because when you really look at the structure, its construction techniques seem centuries ahead of their time. In 1072, Lincoln had a population of around 5,000. Half were women and children, and many were elderly. That leaves a limited workforce for what was one of the most ambitious construction projects in medieval England. Hundreds, maybe thousands, of skilled stonemasons, architects, and laborers would have been needed. But where did they all come from? Who trained them? And how did they achieve such remarkable precision? We are told that these builders had no power tools, no advanced roads, and nothing more than chisels, hammers, and donkeys to transport materials. Yet, somehow, they constructed this marvel of engineering? Then, of course, obviously disaster struck. In 1141, or according to historian Peter Kitson, maybe 1124, a devastating fire tore through the cathedral just years after its completion. Give me a break. If you're not sure, then how can I be sure? Supposedly, the damage was extensive. The original structure? Nearly lost. But the city refused to let it die and, without any problems, just rebuilt it. And then, in 1185, catastrophe struck again. An earthquake, highly unusual for England, ripped through Lincoln, toppling much of the cathedral. This meant yet another massive reconstruction effort, which the people of the past had no problem dealing with. Let's talk about the sheer scale. It's just huge and soars above its surroundings. The cathedral's stone vaulting and pointed arches are so advanced that they shouldn't have been possible with 11th or even 12th century technology. The flying buttresses? These didn't become common in Gothic architecture until much later. So why do we see them here, decades, maybe centuries ahead of their time? And then there's the point of the stone precision. These blocks aren't just stacked together. They are fitted with near-perfect accuracy, almost like ancient megalithic structures. Some of them weigh several tons, yet history tells us they were placed using nothing more than pulleys and wooden scaffolding. Really? Like all of the beautiful old-world buildings, beneath Lincoln Cathedral are mysterious tunnels and chambers, some officially recognized, others rumored to exist, but never fully explored. Even stranger, there are stories of early explorers finding stonework far older than the medieval era, possibly even Roman or pre-Roman. And let's talk about who built it. The history books say medieval masons, but there are no detailed records on how they achieved this feat. Other cathedrals of the time look primitive compared to Lincoln. So were these builders following a lost blueprint? Or did they simply restore something that had already been there? And then we have the mystical symbols. Lincoln Cathedral is full of markings linked to sacred geometry, ancient mathematics, and possibly even pre-Christian knowledge. Some carvings look eerily similar to those found in Egyptian and Roman sites, far older than the medieval period. Is this just coincidence? Or did the builders of Lincoln Cathedral build with a forgotten science that mainstream history refuses to acknowledge? So, what the hell is the real deal here? Did Lincoln Cathedral magically pop out of the ground in the 11th century? Or are we talking about a refurbishment of some ancient structure left behind by beings with knowledge that would blow our tiny minds? And how the hell did they build parts of it that defy the laws of medieval engineering? Don't forget, history is basically a bedtime story told by the big shots. If we stumbled upon proof of an ancient society with iPhones and flying cars, would they spill the tea or bury it deeper than my ex buried our relationship? History says one thing, but the evidence is screaming something else. What's your take on this? Is this just some kick-ass medieval building? Or are we missing a whole freaking chapter in our history book that's been swept under the rug? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're as hooked on these mind-bending historical riddles as we are, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and roll with us on History Seekers as we peel back the layers of time.